Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're tackling a really big question. How in the world do you build something massive and unchanging, like a bridge, versus something totally new and unpredictable, like an app? Well, it turns out the answer is all about the master plan you pick before you lay a single brick or write a single line of code. Okay, first, let's imagine you're in charge of building a huge suspension bridge, right? You know exactly what it needs to do, you know where it's going, and you can be pretty darn sure the laws of physics aren't going to suddenly change on you halfway through construction.
All right, now flip that completely. Picture your next project is a brand new, groundbreaking mobile app, something nobody's ever seen. Suddenly, the market could shift, user feedback could send you off in a totally different direction. Heck, your brilliant initial idea might turn out to be completely wrong.
So yeah, these two projects couldn't be more different. And you know what? Using the same game plan for both would be an absolute recipe for disaster. And that's where these things called development approaches come in. Think of them as the master blueprints for turning any idea, big or small, into a reality.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. First, we'll talk about why there are so many different plans to begin with. Then, we're going to dive deep into the three main blueprints. That's sequential, incremental, and evolutionary. And then we'll wrap it all up by figuring out how you can pick the absolute best plan for your mission.
All right, let's get into it. First up, let's zoom out a bit. What are the main strategic playbooks that the pros actually use when they're staring down a really complex project?
Well, it turns out that pretty much every project plan you'll ever run into falls into one of these three buckets you see right here. And the biggest, most important difference between them, it all comes down to one thing: how much you know, or more importantly, how much you don't know before you even get started.
So let's kick things off with the most traditional blueprint of them all, the sequential approach. You can really think of this as the master plan model.
You know, the whole idea here is all about structure and predictability. It's simple, really. You do one thing, you finish it completely, and only when it's totally done do you move on to the next step. It's just like following a super detailed recipe, one step at a time. Now, the absolute cornerstone of this whole approach, the thing that makes it work, is having what we call full requirements known right from the get-go. I mean, before anyone even thinks about building anything, the entire plan has to be set in stone. You have to know exactly what you're building, down to the tiniest detail from day one.
And the most famous example of this, that's the waterfall model. The name says it all, right? Progress just flows steadily downwards through all these different phases, kind of like a waterfall. And here's the kicker. You can't go back up. You absolutely have to finish one stage before you can even start the next.
There's also a more advanced version called the V model. And this one really puts an intense focus on quality control. Just look at it. See how for every single development step you take, going down the left side, say designing a specific part, there's a matching testing step on the way back up the right. It's a clever structure that basically forces you to constantly check and verify that what you're building perfectly matches the original plan.
So what's the bottom line here? Well, it's all about a trade-off. On one hand, you get amazing predictability and a super clear structure. And that's fantastic for projects like, say, aerospace or building a bridge, where a mistake could be absolutely catastrophic. But, and this is a big but, it's incredibly rigid. If something changes halfway through the project, oh man, trying to make revisions can be painfully slow and incredibly expensive. Okay, but what if you're in a different situation? What if you know what the final thing should look like, but you're worried about risk, and you really want to deliver something useful to your users sooner rather than later? Well, that brings us right to our second model, the incremental approach.
So instead of trying to build the entire thing all at once, you build and deliver it in smaller, functional chunks. Each little piece or increment works all by itself and just adds a little more capability to the one before it. The real beauty of this is that it lets you learn and adapt as you go.
And right here, you can really see the key difference. See, you still start with a clear plan. You have those full requirements. But look closer. See those little loops? You get multiple chances to deploy and learn. That means you can actually release a working piece of the project, get feedback from real people, and then, and this is crucial, you can adjust your course before you build the next chunk.
A classic example of this is something called the spiral model. And what's so cool about this one is that each loop of the spiral is basically its own mini project. And every single one of those mini projects is centered on one key thing: analyzing risk. This makes it absolutely perfect for projects with huge technical question marks, because it forces you to tackle and solve your biggest, scariest risks right at the beginning.
So, as you can imagine, the benefits here are huge. For starters, you get something valuable into your users' hands way faster, not, years down the road. You also get to avoid that terrifying all or nothing risk of one single giant failure. Plus, you stay flexible enough to grab some new, better technology that might just pop up halfway through your project. All right, so let's talk about the most flexible approach of all. This is for those times when you don't even really know what the final destination is supposed to look like when you start. This is the evolutionary model. I want you to think of this one as discovering the path while you're walking on it. You just build a small, core version of your idea, a prototype maybe. You get it into the hands of real users, you listen to their feedback, and then you use that feedback to figure out what on earth to build next. The product doesn't just get built, it literally evolves. And this is where things get radically different. Forget a full plan. You start with just some initial or partial requirements. The real magic happens inside that deploy and learn cycle. You're not just building the product anymore. You are actively discovering what the product even needs to be, adding new requirements to the list as you learn directly from your users. Honestly, this approach is the engine of innovation. It is perfect for software startups, for R&D projects, really for anything where you're pushing into brand new territory. Here, speed, adaptation, and that constant customer feedback are everything. The whole point is to learn as fast as you can so you end up building something people actually want. Okay, so we've walked through the three main models. Now we get to the most important part of all. How in the world do you choose the right one for your project? All right, this is it. This is the key takeaway for today. It all boils down to one single, simple question. How much do you know and how likely is it to change? It's that simple. If your requirements are rock solid, totally stable, like our bridge, then you go with Sequential. If you know the big picture but you want to build it in safe, manageable pieces, Incremental is your friend. But if you are venturing out into the great unknown, like with that wild new app idea, then really evolutionary is the only way to go. And that brings us to one final big thought to leave you with. In a world that's constantly changing, where even physical things like cars and appliances are powered by software that's updated all the time, are these clean, distinct models becoming a thing of the past? Is the real future of every major project some kind of hybrid, forcing every single one of us to find a way to blend that meticulous, upfront planning with constant, rapid evolution?